Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. Back for another video a day until this channel hits 100K. We're out here, and I mean, we're out here testing the King coilover shocks, both front and rear reservoir shocks, on the 35-inch Toyo Tire Open Country AT3s. This is our first off-road shakedown of this setup. When I make these videos, I naturally get comments from people who say things like, oh, that's not off-roading, those are just finely groomed fire trails. I get it, tough guy. You know, I think a lot of people really conflate off-roading with it's got to be like rock crawling. That's not how most people are utilizing their trucks. For me, if I'm going to be doing any sort of like off-roading type adventures, I like to go fast. And that's something I've learned over the years is, you know, especially like the Jeep rock crawly guys, like, yeah, sure, you get all that ground clearance, you can go slow over obstacles, but I find it way more fun to carry speed through these fire trails. On the way out here, I was doing 50 miles an hour on some real washboardy type roads. You're not doing that in a Honda Civic. You're not doing that in a Subaru. That's where these suspension upgrades in pickup trucks really start to pay off. Now, on a more practical note, not everybody's out here doing this all of the time. But for me, in the construction world, the difference between a stock on the GM trucks, the Ranchos, I forgot what the Ford calls their F-150 package, but you know, those standard OEM package shocks are really nothing to write home about. They don't do anything. As far as I'm concerned, the GM Ranchos just make them red so it looks cooler. When you get into like a 2.5-inch bodied shock, the reservoir shocks, that is the difference between hitting a job site or an off-road fire trail like this and carrying the 25 miles an hour that I am right now. I'm filming, so I'm being a little more cautious of what I'm doing here. And, you know, having your coffee all over the cab of your truck, or having your laptop or your bag go flying all over the place because you're literally just in the truck, you know, doing one of these things because the truck is all spring, no shock sort of thing. So that's really the difference between the really high-end shock setups and the standard OEM type shock setups. So I'm out here in Cleater, Arizona. This is the Cleater General Store. They actually just, this whole town just sold in the last few years for like $1 million.
So you're looking at an entire town here that was just sold for less than $1 million. Cleater is home to about 12 people. Tonight, the town has a new owner.
Maybe like Dave Sparks or something, or maybe Cletus bought Cleater.
Hell yeah, brother.
But this whole thing is such a cool spot. I actually just ran from Cleater all the way up to Crown Creek, which is up here in the mountains. Super awesome trip. A lot of trucks you can see up there. This guy out here bombing on down here. Gotta love the old Tacoma. Love those old trucks. And I just kind of came out here to shake down the 2024 GMC Sierra out here on my 3-inch, which actually on the AT4 is only about an inch lift, and shaking the truck down with the whole King shock, coilover reservoir shocks, the 2.5s, which have been absolutely awesome. The AT4 package, like, truth be told, it's basically just like an appearance package. It's a good appearance package, but the shocks that come on these things, not all that great. This whole setup here with the Kings, the reservoirs, works out really well. I want to pick up the front end just a little bit, and I have the spring compressor in the garage. I think I'm going to try to actually pull these off, compress the spring down just a little bit more, and see if I can get maybe like an extra 1/2 inch out of these springs. But I also might consider swapping these out for either a taller spring or a heavier spring. I'm not entirely sure. I'll kind of figure that out in the coming weeks here as I decide what to do with it. But all in, right off the rip, these shocks change the ride like night and day from the OEM Ranchos that come on these things. I also have the Talon's Garage skid plates underneath here. I honestly would not run off-road without having some sort of, I guess, real undercarriage protection, because The OEM skid plates are just absolute trash. I don't think they do much of anything. In my opinion, these Talon's Garage skid plates just do a much better job of keeping rocks and anything from flying up and hitting any of the important powertrain components. Now, because I am a good YouTuber, I of course will also link all of this stuff in the description down below to Real Truck. I also have the amp power steps. These are the, I forgot what they call them, that has the built-in LED light on the side, which I think looks really fantastic. You can actually customize what those look like. I like the amp power steps because it still gives you ground clearance when you're off-roading, and also still allows easy access for the wife and children to get in and out of the truck. This is the Paragon Tectonic tonneau cover. It's been on here for a few weeks now. It's working out really well. I think the swing cases are kind of a must-have. They have a hitch in here, just some oil, I don't know, random towing components. Then over there I keep all of my tools. But what I love about the swing cases, which I can't do now because it's all locked up here, but they're removable, so I can pull those out when I don't need them and have them in there when I do. And when I'm off-roading, they stay put. They are fine. Now, I also have from Harbor Freight, I've got the Badland jack sitting back there with the Grove Fabworks mount. So it's like actually rigidly mounted to the bed so that when I'm out here, it's not flying all over the place when I'm going around those washboards. I have a fire extinguisher that I mounted to the side of the truck bed also, which I like to have, especially for things like wildfires. You never know when you might need them. Well, we're way overexposed. And of course, also the bed rug. The bed rug is a part or a component that I have actually always made fun of before owning one. I always thought having a rug in the back of your truck was one of the dumbest things. Like, why would you want a carpet back there? But it's so easy to keep clean. Spray it out, and then also it prevents everything from sliding around back here, which is fantastic. So I'm pretty stoked with this whole setup. The next steps for me are going to be some electrical things. So I have the fog lights here, which I'm happy to report have not broken. I was just doing some really, really aggressive washboard road stuff. So those things would have been, if they were gonna break, I think they might have broken today when I was really kind of shaking them around pretty good. But otherwise, everything else seems to be working pretty well. So I do highly recommend this kind of package that I have here. Yet again, a video a day until this channel hits 100K. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. See you guys next time.